Hi, welcome back to Venusian Wave for your moon vibes reading. This week is the Virgo lunar eclipse, total lunar eclipse, full moon. And we are going to go sign by sign, rising sign. You can find the timestamps below. We're going to first do the metaphysics, so like the body parts that we and what those relate to, what you could be going through on an energetic level at this time, and then get into the areas in which Virgo is in your chart specifically, which will be the sign by sign readings, the rising sign, but it could hit your sun or moon, so pay attention. And also pay attention to the degree. This lunar eclipse is on the 23rd degree, which is Aquarius. So if you have any planets in Virgo around that degree, give or take 5 degrees, I think it's like 3 to 5 degrees, people go by, this may hit you much more directly. I have known people, and I haven't myself experienced a transit that hits a specific sign at the specific degree, and I can tell you that it's real. So if you do know your chart, and if you do, that's why you're here. I would definitely look into that, because that can give you even more information. All right, before we go through everything though, all information to work with me is below. My website link, payment options. The Patreon link will also be below for this particular video. So if you do want to receive any of these videos, including your extended if you like, everything will come right to your inbox right when it comes out. So if you want to sign up for that, you can. I do also have meditations. I had to redo this because I was getting a little too carried away in the metaphysics part. Because this is a Virgo full moon, extra emphasis on the nervous system. And we are in Pisces season, so it's a beautiful time to release. And we've been talking about cycles, and we will be talking about cycles, because there's so many cycles ending and starting throughout the entire year, because then we'll have retrogrades and yada yada. So this starts our eclipse season in this particular set of signs, Virgo and Pisces. So metaphysics. Virgo is, so what I was going to say about the nervous system is that I have meditations available, deep relaxation into a journey. They're not very long. There's 2 up right now. This month's for energy shift, but I have another one as well. So you can go check those out. And those are also on Patreon. So all of it goes right there as well. Check that out. Link is below. Okay, metaphysics. So as we know, the moon is always the stomach, the digestion, and there's an extra emphasis on digestion on multiple levels. So of course energetically, but then there will be physically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually for some people. It could be an all-inclusive week for you, because yes, the moon rules the breast, the chest, the stomach, the digestion. Virgo rules the intestines. So we're emphasizing even extra the areas of the body that break things down and digest. Now, of course, many different areas break things down. However, we have an extra emphasis there. And then we have the nervous system, which further digests. What do I mean by that? The nervous system, when the shifts happen there, and we talk about this a lot now, it's a big topic. And I don't want to say hot topic, because it's not a trend. Nervous system regulation is not trendy. It's something we're always going to need in this life for our immune system, many things. Go do your own research. And specifically when we talk about, especially what's very prominent in the spiritual world, is authenticity. That's actually I think it's everywhere. In order to be very authentic, then your nervous system needs to be authentic as well. The brain and the heart, right? Those very, very specific. So essentially, some of you could be deeply healing at this time, and it's probably what stopped you from really starting a new cycle. Like you've been trying and possibly getting ahead of yourself. And it's not that, because we talk about it sometimes here, that when you end a cycle or you're changing, it's the energy of that cycle doesn't just get cut off, which is why I believe in cusps, because the sun's rays don't just cut off. Yes, the degrees give us specificity, and I think obviously that's very important, but the sun's rays don't just cut off from sign to sign. It takes a second to move forward. So it's just like moving forward for ourselves, because if you think of your chart, right, your little pie chart, you're moving forward. You don't just like leave until you're really done with that part of the chart, and everyone's is so unique and specific. So just like us, when we're moving forward, there's things that still linger. We still have some things, some closure. That's why when things come back around or in retrogrades, people or situations or people that have characteristics of other people in our lives that remind us of people can also come up. I don't think that's talked about enough. You can also meet people like people you have known. Sometimes it's literally that person, but then other times it's same kind of person, different body. So just those things to pay attention to at this time. And while you're digesting, it could be on a physical level, that you are actually needing to digest something emotional, something mental, something even spiritual. Maybe it's all in one again. And it's something maybe you've been stomaching for a long time. Mars could have possibly, because Mars is in Cancer, Cancer is ruled by the moon, is being brought up. The arms and the hands, be very careful using your arms and hands this week. Extra emphasis on there. But if you have, especially if you have skills or you don't often pay attention, driving as well, that's just another adjacent factor. But yeah, so the metaphysics are really about, what are you processing? What are you digesting on a deep level? That is, you may have gone back to time and time again, and maybe it's annoying, right? Maybe it's not, or it's like comfortable, right? For some of you it's annoying, for some of you it's comfortable. Either way, moving on is going to be uncomfortable, because for those of you who it's uncomfortable with, you'll have to face it, and you'll have to allow, and you'll be soft. And for those of you who get comfortable there, you'll have to be a little more harsh. You have to give that right, it just, with Virgo, Pisces, it's that right amount of harshness, it's that right amount of sweetness that we get this week. And for each of us, that really just depends on your life, on your frequency, what you're moving through on a personal level. Let me make sure I got everything. This week will also show you where maybe you're trying to do too much, right? So eclipses are also going to take things out of your life or bring them in, and it's things that we can't necessarily prepare for, and this is the time for, this is the week for it. So unexpected changes could show up in your life, especially for Virgo, Pisces placements, even Sagittarius, and all mutable, Sag and Gemini as well. Okay. So yeah, and if you find yourself more attracted to yellows, that could be it too, or blues and greens, that could be a part of this as well. I love colors. Actually, we don't also talk about that the digestion can also be the root. I didn't want to rush this video, by the way, because I want to give a little bit more and give you more context around how I view and put things together. I'm doing my best to figure that out as well. So yeah, digestion, processing, finally getting to the bottom of something. We don't talk about how the root is often associated with digestion, not just the solar plexus. So maybe even reds, you're attracted to deeper colors even. A lot of, and it could be breakdowns, breakthroughs as well, which indicate those areas of the body. But something's shifting for all of us right now. Okay. Let's get started with Aries. Aries, this is your 12th house. Oh no, sorry, my bad. This is your 6th house. 6th house, opposite. I was looking at the wrong side. I should have known. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Okay, Aries, 6th house. What do we got going on there? What do we got? Oh, and one other thing I will say. I'll do an edit there. One more thing I will say is that we talk about the gut being the second brain. A lot, which is not for this video, but a lot of shifting into Aries, which is the head. And all that we're talking about is the gut and the stomach and the intestines. So get ready for the most intuitive time of your life. I'm like, this is serious. For real, though, we've been talking about it for a long time. We're entering a huge spiritual time, whether we see it coming or not, right? This is where this shifts for everyone in these areas of your life. It doesn't have to be like you become someone who meditates 1,000 times a day. No, it's not like that. Some of you may, though, which is going to be interesting. But this is clearing up anything that's been blocking you from the shit you really need to know. And I think that's going to be some of the uncomfortable change for some people, is that especially if you've been avoiding it recently or if you've been sick recently, right now is going to get you in touch one way or another, or try to, in the ways that you learn. And the ways that you learn is through your nervous system. So whichever way you're going, whether it's on a more upward scale, it may not always feel and look great on the way up. It's like sometimes we don't even notice when we're on a down, right? We think everything feels great, and then, so the ups and downs, the highs and the lows of it all. All right, now we're getting to it. Aries, 6th house. Let's talk about your 6th house. Work, health, pets. I don't always talk about pets, but that one gave me a very deep breath. So if you have any pets, it's time to take their care seriously, or do what it is that you need to do in order to give them the love and the care that they need. They may also be a reflection for some of you right now, very much so. All right, Aries, you're building. You're ready. You're shifting. You're like, what else can I do right now? Perhaps for some of you, you may feel really great. And you're like, then what do I need to know? This is something I'm saying to everyone, because Mars is very strong right now, because you're everywhere, right? We have Mercury in your sign. We have Venus retrograde in your sign. The sun will soon go in your sign. And then those two signs will also retrograde back into Pisces, and we don't always get that transition. So for you, any amazing energy that you receive, it's almost like that day, as intuitively as you can, be as intentional as you can with your energy, because it will go places into the future that you can't foresee yet, but you can feel. And how else do you want to use this energy, right? We don't want to direct this in a way like I was just talking about. We have our highs and our lows. This feels like an up and up. How do you keep it going up without trying to hold on too tight because you feel like something is going to be pulled out from under you, right? We're going to we'll give this can be our other card. My hair is everywhere. Kitty's hair, my hair, kitty hair. Okay. Your foundations, right? So 6th house is things are going great. How can you add this into your values? How can you, it's not always about the external is fine. You see it building. So how can you implement this to the internal? How can you utilize this energy in ways that will be beneficial always? How can you put this into your health, right? How can you create from this place? Maybe even change some things that you've been wanting to change, whether it's in your, whether it's at work. This is your day-to-day work too. And it's like you've wanted to implement a routine, or you've wanted to implement something new into your life. This is the time to do it. This is the time to do that because you have that energy, you have the vitality for it. And this is also learning about burnout. On the days that you feel really great, sometimes it's about relaxing and enjoying what you've built. Right? And it's those days where sometimes you feel like, because so much is shifting with you, I should be moving, I should be going, I should be doing. And it's like, that's the key should, is like, no. Actually, you need to embrace this. And the full moon is like, this is how you shift it into your nervous system, into the foundations, into how you do everything. And this is the time to become devoted to it, perhaps. And this is when it will show you. We also have another 10 here, so there's a completion. For some of you, you have reached a certain height, and this is the subconscious, the shit changing on the subconscious. This is what I meant by internal. This is where it shifts your mind. This is where you believe and start to see, you'll not only see the abundance, but you believe it on a different level. And that may make you feel different for a moment or two, but it's embracing that because it's something extremely spiritual for you. And May, because Taurus would be in your second house, it may also, and Uranus is there and it will leave there, it may sharpen and enhance that spiritual practice that you may come into to connect all of this, will enhance your skills, will ultimately influence or impact your resources, and more money, of course. But then when Uranus moves into Gemini, you'll be able to communicate this, and you'll have the energy to communicate this, and you'll want to communicate this, and that's towards the middle of the year. So step by step, a lot to talk about with you, Aries. All right, take care of yourself this week at this time, even though it says, you know, positive things, still take care of yourself. And Taurus, right away. Taurus, Virgo full moon wants to talk to you. This is your 5th house. This is pleasure. This is creative energy. This is children. Wow. This is about something that's deeply insightful to your ego, what you've experienced on an ego level, what's been in your head. People don't know this about you as much, but you do get in your head. If you don't vocalize enough, or if you have no way to express it, if you don't express your creativity, which can sometimes come out sexually too for you, Taurus, Scorpio, Virgo even, this may have you address some of those things, and you have the bandwidth to do that. You may even notice that it could come from, so the Aries place would be your 12th. So your 12th house may be revealing things to you right now, because a lot is going into your 12th house for Taurus risings. So yeah, you're digesting a lot and what you've held in your mind. I feel this on a very real personal level. Okay. What's going on in your mind, and you may be gaining a lot of insight and inspiration, but it also has to do with where you've been stuck, and it brings a lot of breakthroughs, because this is the time where healing, like these are these spontaneous, these big adjustment healings that we get right now. And this is on a nervous system level. This is just stuff that's been going and stuck in your mind, in places that you may have been aware, but you didn't realize went so deeply. And it's only going to make you, well, feel more beautiful, feel more connected to yourself on a nervous system level. You may be having to digest some things, but this is also, it sounds like you're receiving something, and you are, but it's because you're willing to do it. This is also will. You're willing, you can't go anywhere else. You have to show up for this, because you have a question about your creativity, about your ability to feel pleasure on different levels. And now you're seeing and feeling exactly what's kept you stuck. your understanding, and it's coming to you very directly. And then you'll be able to utilize this energy too. It is changing your life and connecting you insightfully to a part of your ego that is going to help you in a positive direction. And we have 2 road signs in the dark. This is where you take this seriously, where you realize that just like Virgo, what you guys can learn from each other. I know we always learn from Capricorn, but you two, all the earth signs, right? Learning from each other. And then the sign before you, right? You keep everything going. You have been creating too much of a world in your head, and you need to bring it externally. I think a part of you gets overwhelmed by what you're capable of. Virgo as well. And it's time to put that ego, that strong, even competitive part of yourself to the forefront. Bring yourself to the forefront. See yourself. This is also self-independence, your ego. It's time to see where you've been hiding, gain insight on the part of you that isn't allowing yourself to reveal. Even for some of you, this is just the tiniest bit. Then for others of you, it's like, okay, it's time to face this. It's time to face yourself. It's time to let yourself be yourself. Why is this so hard for Taurus? Well, it has to do with whatever you need to digest right now. Whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're shifting. This could also be Mars muscular system. So it's been running rampant throughout your body. And now you can you're not just internalizing it, you're processing it. Whatever's been going on in that mind of yours. And whatever it is that your gut has been trying to tell you is now going to connect. Okay? Okay. Gemini. Gemini. This eclipse is in your 4th house. This is your caregivers, your parents, new reparenting, new agey way of looking at it would be reparenting yourself. Maybe I shouldn't have said it. Your foundations, your home. Some of you may want to move, be looking into moving throughout the course of this year at some point, or switching up things around in the home, processing things about your home life and your structure of it and how it may relate to how you've grown up, because your parents, your caregivers, you may be addressing some things that you've needed to address in order for you to really let go and move on. As I talked about in the beginning, that is a lot of cards. I'm sorry, we're not doing that, Gemini. But as this is a Mercurial ruled moon, which is your ruling planet as well, you know that this could be very healing for you. And if you didn't know that, it could be. All right. The first have out is the Knight of Cups. Yeah. You may be offered an opportunity, even a date. Someone is trying to contact you, wants to give you a message. Maybe it looks like it's a positive message. Could have to do with some emotional healing. Maybe you have something to say. Maybe it's something that you're realizing that you need to vocalize. You need to have a hard conversation, or it could be an easy conversation, but you need to have a conversation. And it could have to do with some of the control that you've had. It could be, in a way, you holding back love or learning how to give love in a way that has your boundaries and you in mind. Learning deeply about the different ways of healing yourself and where you've been too much in control. Maybe this is you offering peace to that part of yourself. Maybe this is you caring for this part of yourself better. This could also be you needing to talk to someone, a caregiver, a parent, someone who may had thought they needed more control over you. Some very caring communication or conversation in this way is going to be happening at this time. So for those of you dealing with like the physical house stuff, this is maybe going to help you, maybe working on your house or moving things around or whatever it is what is preparing you for this. But for others of you, having the conversation can then give you a certain perspective and make you want some changes. A lot of times we don't realize that when we're resisting having certain conversations or revealing certain emotions or even being vulnerable with people who had once had control over us, or their feelings did, or their responses did. That was the control. So the more that you don't give that attention and know that you're doing it just for you, that may open the gates to change, and maybe the reason why you haven't shifted anything, and all of a sudden now you want to shift some things around in the house and you're like, why didn't I want to do this before? It's because a part of you is maturing. This is the perspective that I'm getting, that is a part of you is maturing in this way that hadn't had that possibility or capability without addressing this. Now, if you're not addressing your caregiver like head on and you're like, yeah, that sounds crazy, you could do this, or your parent, or whatever's being let out from this Virgo full moon. Because it could feel like, for some of you, it will feel like it came out of nowhere. For others of you, it's been something that's been lingering. And for others of you, it is lingering, but it's almost like you thought you were maybe done, or it's been processed. And yeah, then you finally want to change things up. You finally want to shift some things. You want to move some things around. Maybe you, again, want to literally end up moving. Maybe it's about becoming a parent. You're becoming a parent, and you're offering advice or receiving advice. I know a lot of different things here that this could be. Either way, it may not seem like it now, Gemini, but it is life-changing. It's very life-changing for you. There's something very, no matter what happens, there's something where I feel you're going to get peace out of this particular eclipse version of eclipses, whether it be this year or by the end of 2 years, not to get your hopes up. So, all right, Gemini. All right, taking our time. Moving through to Cancer risings. This eclipse will be in your 3rd house. This is your communication, your day-to-day life, siblings, close friends, and some extended family. So Cancer risings, what do we have in store for you on this Virgo eclipse? Looks like it's a fair amount of cards. Express yourself, Cancer. You must express yourself now. The insights that you're looking for, whether you know that you're consciously looking for them or not, I guarantee you consciously you are, but they've been tucked away, or you're just waiting for the right time or whatever it is. This is the time. Expressing yourself will get you there. Maybe some needs that you've needed, some part of you needs to communicate very externally. This could be with family, siblings. And it's something that you've gained a lot of insight on. This expressing yourself is what gives you the change. Expressing yourself is what gives way for this opportunity to understand what it is that you're going to see at this time. This may be an awakening, an epiphany. It's moving you out of anywhere that you've been stuck, or anywhere where that's anywhere where you go back into your shell in a way that's out of reaction, out of a nervous system response. Because what you're expressing is from your heart. For some of you, it's vulnerable. But the only way that you get the support that you actually need now is by speaking up, is by expressing yourself, whether it's from the people around you or from God, the universe. The universe is like, we want you to say it. We want you to say it, Cancer. We want you to say it. Things are changing regardless. I'm going to show you where you've been stuck, and it's somewhere where you've held onto a lot of value, maybe victim, maybe like you know how capable you are in some areas, and here it is shining, and then it makes you realize like, oh, I say this out loud, this expression makes me realize where I'm not doing that in my life. Or how saying this then makes you keenly aware, and then everything is about to shift anyway. This could also be a Leo or a Virgo being either the recipients of this information or someone that is a part of it somehow. There could be a Leo who even offers something to you, an insight to you that you really think about, because this is a deep healing. Leo energy coming up again at the bottom of the deck. This is an end. And I think for some of you, you were scared to see this. You didn't want to look there. You didn't want to. This is only going to make you stronger, more capable, an even better communicator. Because when you're able to communicate in ways, in areas that you feel comfortable, right? Any other areas you retreat, even in relationships. This is going to make maybe your relationship stronger, or your relationships in general, because it's going to make the one with yourself strong. This is exposure to where you think your nervous system is, where you think you're at, as opposed to where you are at, and needing to merge the gap, needing to address the gap, needing to care for this, and know that this is a lot of fertile ground. This may be a big realization about a Virgo as well, specifically. So this may alter your perception, and I know you love that shit when you're in the mood for it. So maybe whenever you come across this, Cancer, make yourself comfortable this week. Get yourself all the things that you love, all the whatever self-care. It may not be doing a whole beauty routine. It may be doing that and having the snacks and having that exact movie, maybe nerding out about some things, like doing a lot of shit for yourself this week is what I would say. Because then if you get pulled out of it, that will show you a lot. We weren't ready to move on yet. Sorry, cards. I just like shuffling. All right, Cancer? Curious. Leo, second house. Leo. Virgo is in your second house of your personal resources, monies, assets, your talents, your skills. There's something that you may need to let go of at this time and that you are fully processing. But this enhances and gives way to maybe where you weren't utilizing or where you didn't have access before. So even if there's some things that we need to address, because there will be, and heal, it'll be for the better, as it is. All right, well, the Tower card. I wonder, it's like, why? Oh, it's because it's the Tower. It's the Tower, Leo. Is there anything else? I was like, let's get a friend or two. Just want to make sure those are the only two that were. Alright, it looks like it. And hey, the sun's on the bottom. Tower, 8 of Swords, 3 of Wands. So, Leo, the Tower moment is for anywhere you felt paralyzed. Interestingly enough, we're going to talk about this. Okay, we're going to talk about this. You're thawing out. For people who don't know you, Leo risings, there's some things where you're becoming unfreezed. And for some of you, it feels it feels amazing. It feels amazing. The shift is giving you a lot of perspective, a lot of power, a lot of outlook. It's showing where you've been making the choice to remain positive, paralyzed by not addressing these things. And it's coming to a head at this time, but it's going to give you a lot of perspective. It's going to give you it's almost like washing away, right? The freeze response, I just learned that like it just shows like the amount of layers that are involved here. And I'm drawing a blank at this time, but you should look into that, with the freeze response and not just having it, but like what happens when it lingers and the numbness and like learning to thaw, right? So you're thawing and it's the mind, you're having a mental shift. So needing to take care of your brain this week, because a lot of you are just craving being able to just, it's like pretending to be at the beach. Like you just want to get away from yourself, perhaps. Or you're wanting to break free from wherever you feel paralyzed or feel like you're being held back, and those areas show up for you. And then something shifts, right? The thing does shift. It may be that this pinpoints wherever you, Leo, as a fixed sign, wherever you draw your perimeters, right? The sun only shines so much on one side of the world, and then it, continues to go. So this may cause you to take a different outlook, and maybe you've been a little scared, a little nervous of it, but it is something that really does connect you to where you've been disconnected from your intuition. You don't realize it until you realize it, unless you feel like really disconnected. But when you're like, you feel connected, but you don't realize that you can feel even deeper and even more of a connection, this is when that happens. Because you maybe have been questioning, like, what do I want to do? Is there anything I want to sharpen? Is there anything I want to learn a little bit more? Anything I want to add to your skills, to how you make money? And you may have been wondering why you haven't been able to put a foot forward on something or really get something rolling. This is the time where you get out of your own way in your mind and you free yourself, and this allows you to then express yourself. And it's maybe expressing your needs as well. And this could be about, also for some of you, like how this perspective about yourself has kept you from having more enjoyment with what you do. So like, I think that's the key, is like the sun card is showing you, and then this 3 of Wands is showing you that you need more freedom and allowing yourself like to go different ways and following your intuition because the Wands are like with whatever you're doing. But in your mind, you feel stuck, like you've almost been held back by ego, by someone else's way of doing it. You're now like, I want to experience, or I want to get my hands on this, or I want to make something unique out of this, or I want to put my unique skills into my work more. It will make things a lot more enjoyable, a lot more fun. And you may not realize how welcomed it is, right? That the way that you feel more comfortable being yourself, like even at your job or around people, whoever you're around while you're doing this, they may notice a change in you even. And it's because there's something really warming, like thawing out, coming out of freeze, you already are warm, but when you're not connected to that part of yourself and it's not consistently like fire running like a furnace, like having that consistent burn, others may not be as aware until they feel it again. They're like, oh, welcome back, Leo. Welcome back from wherever you were. And that's what this does for you. Yes, it doesn't feel that great, but then it just reignites something inside of you that I don't think you have felt in this way in a while. So this is an interesting eclipse cycle. That is the word, cycle for you. Okay, Virgo, first house. Let's see what's going on for you. It's your identity. This is your vitality, your appearance. Have you been wanting to make a change? Be careful. Just be careful. No, if you've been wanting to do something different, or if you've been adding value to yourself in some type of way, whatever's been held on to, whatever part of you that you may need to part with will reveal itself, I'm sure, if that's the case. All right. I need some water. Okay. I'm taking my time with these ones. 10 of Swords, 5 of Cups, Queen of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. An ending. A grievance. You maybe haven't wanted to grieve. You maybe have been avoiding it. Maybe you don't know how, and you're really learning. You finally are kind of forced to, are brought into it a little. And you may be questioning the value of this person. This could be a person or emotions. You could be questioning the value of spirituality. You could be, there's so much here. This could be you wanting to end a cycle, and in your mind you are. Something is changing within you, and you don't realize the emotion that it comes with. You don't realize that it actually needs you to mature emotionally. It needs you to recognize your past, or whatever you, or where you've been overcompensating, where you've been disconnected even from your spirituality, where you've been saying one thing but not really doing it. Virgo, first house, you're changing. This eclipse makes it very obvious that you're changing, that you're processing something deep. And it may be very hard and difficult to talk about. But talking about it is actually the growth. Being honest with yourself is the growth. You may want to talk to also someone you trust, obviously. Someone that you trust. Someone that has very strong foundations. Someone who is both emotionally equipped and physically there. This could also be about how you really want to, and even some of you want to embrace that spiritual side of yourself, and you've been not really, you maybe not knowing how to do it, not understand, like afraid really. And you're starting to claim it more. You're starting to express that part of you, not like all the time, but in a very specific way. And it's very helpful. It's very helpful. It's very important that you break the cycle of avoiding any changes that need to happen, anywhere that you need to process these particular people in your life, and going to your higher power, God, the universe, a specific person, a book, philosophy. That's what will help this. If you haven't been connected to your spirituality, or you haven't been like putting your own effort in for yourself, and not doing it's personal, right? We can talk about it with each other and share things, but it is personal. And it's time to make it even more personal for yourself, because you may find also the Hierophant being a throat card that you have a lot to say. You have a lot of great insight. You haven't been valuing that part of yourself enough. So, yeah, just some things to think about. All right. You may also be processing a lot. So you may also need that for the spiritual, then becomes a physical guidance from day to day. And it also may boost your vitality on top of it. So, Virgo, we want to hear what you have to say. At least I do. I love Virgos. Okay. Libra, 12th house. What's coming out of nowhere? You're the sign where it's like, it's definitely coming out of nowhere. All depending on what's in your 12th house, though, too, if there is anything there. 12th house is loss, sorrow. You may be, Libra risings, you really may be, like, we've had a few grievances, cards of grievances, but you may actually you may actually be coming to like a full circle or beginning a process. So we have the Hangman. Deep contemplation, your hidden life. Maybe an idea comes to you. Maybe you recognize that you're stuck, and sometimes the way forward is to commit to an idea, to commit to a project. For some of you, this is about receiving money, literally. This is about receiving out of nowhere, and you're in a receptive place. You're not rushing, you're integrating. You are digesting. Great idea, right? Full circle. You may also have full circle moment. You may have a manifestation in various ways, shapes, or forms that it could be even a gift. For some of you, this may be like specifically a beginning, so it's an ending. And by someone in your life could be a Virgo, or it could be someone around this day that literally comes into your life and brings you a gift on something that you've been wanting or you've been manifesting deep down, whether consciously or not, and it changes your life. It almost, you don't realize, but you may not realize right away, but it inspires you on a path. It inspires you to now move in this direction. And it gives you a lot of flow. And it gives you this really big, expanding feeling even inside for a lot of you. And it came out of nowhere. It's crazy how even times of grief or these great change or for full circle moments, that's the manifestation in itself, right? But then something greater, something that we didn't even know was in our field or in our energy, or something that you could do yourself, you now are like, I'm capable. Like you're capable of doing it. You're capable of handling whatever it is. And you may also, this, for some of you too, the processing, because the Hangman came up, this is also Neptune. And Neptune will be moving into your 7th house. So this may be exactly what you need to set you on a journey, many-year journey of developing whatever this is. And this could be for healing, For some of you, it's like in the healing world, or it's just about making an idea come to life. And this is the beginning. All right, Libra. Gorgeous. Scorpio, 11th house. Wow. You're like, let's get this over with. Knight of Swords, Two of Pentacles. You're going to love the bottom of the deck too if you can't see it already. A rush of inspiration. You may be analyzing some things. You may be weighing out what you're capable of, what you can be responsible for. This is a great time to start something new. This is a great time to tap into the fortune of your friends. We have multiple signs down here, interestingly enough, because 11th house is community, friends, good fortune. I'm blanking specifically on something else that I wanted to bring into this place, but I'm sure it will come back around. But you're kind of weighing out your options perhaps right now. You may have a lot of energy, a lot of insight. But again, what do you want to be responsible for? What do you want to start with? Where do you want to go? You have ideas maybe with a Cancer or Taurus, these kinds of people. This could be about your purpose. This could be something that drastically shifts your life. But it does look like you're being asked to make a decision. It's really important that you not, like, this is beautiful energy, but when making a decision right now with all this fortuitive surrounding energy, weighing out your options is important. Taking a look, noticing how you feel, right? This could be a change in community. This could be whatever you choose brings you to a new cycle of good fortune. And at first, it may not feel or it may not appear that way, right? Of course, through Scorpio, you're like, I don't know. I have to see. I have to wait and see. Trust. Trust what you're digesting. Trust your gut. Whatever it is that you do. When you're in this mood, not in this place to make a decision, but that's when you weigh it out, right? When you have that energy, when you feel like very strongly about analyzing, because it's like you're looking at this as an investment. And if you're not, you're going to begin to look at things more in that way. You may have, it may be very psychic what happens. You may not want to share it with many people, but it's you breaking through into a very fortunate time, and it does have to do with the community that you surround yourself in. They may be guiding you. You never know. All right, Scorpio. Trust your friends. Trust your community, Scorpio. Trust the people around you. I think like your reading seems so simple. And it is. Doesn't have to be more than that. But it's like you need to trust that instinct. You trust that guidance. Trust that energy. Not second guess it, but also like you're telling me not to second guess it, but you're also telling me not to rush. Yeah, that's not. It's use the energy. All of that air energy, all of this air energy in your reading to help you decide. When you're in those modes, what do you want to be responsible for? It doesn't mean you have to make a decision right away, right? Especially if you've been conserving your energy. All right, Sagittarius, 10th house. 10th house already wants to talk. 10th house, your career, your role in the world. Wow, changing. If you've been looking for a change, it's happening and it's calling you, or you're claiming it, it's calling you, it's happening. You've created this. Your reading is so good, by the way. If you want to check that out, your personal reading. This is a highly spiritual, from the ether change. This is also a Pluto card. Pluto is in Aquarius, which would be in your 3rd house of communication. Oh, communicating to you very clearly that your role is changing. You have created this situation where you are claiming, where you are stating, where you're speaking, you're needing to make a stand, you're needing to say something, and it has to be loud and clear. You are getting the attention of anyone and everyone around you, Sag rising. And this could be you finally announcing a career change or a promotion in your life, or this idea, this creation. For some of you, if you're not announcing something, there's something that comes just like you feel like it's being channeled right to you. And it's going to take up a lot of time, and there will be a lot of progression in your life for the next few years. But it seems as though there's divine intervention, and for good reason. It's possible that it's just showing up because it's time. It's time. And for those of you who haven't been wanting to change your role, or don't really know where you're operating in this role, the roles in your life, you're like, and then the legacy that you're creating, it becomes very clear. The path forward becomes very clear. It's very spiritual. And this may come out of nowhere. Again, it may come out at a time when you least expect it. Maybe you've been wondering that, or maybe you weren't wondering and you like are living life and you're feeling great or whatever you're feeling, and all of a sudden, boom. Exactly what you needed to hear. It's time to do whatever it is you need to do. Say whatever it is you need to say. Okay, Sag risings? And it will change the structure of your life. Like, it's not just doing it and saying the thing. It's funny about you guys. It's time, it's when you're unsure and you know there's like, you don't have like any ounce of control. Not that you're this cerebral, and not that you're not intelligent. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's time to be your own advocate. Because you do that, just like a few other signs, you do that really well for others. Okay. Capricorn. 9th house. Yeah. Everybody wants to talk. Travel. Education. Higher thought. Philosophies. Even astrology. Maybe even religion. No, I'm kidding. Religion is very interesting. Seems like you're being tested. Maybe people are talking about you. You're being asked to see how much you actually do care about what people think or don't. Your ability to wait out and find out at this time is really important. Also, even overhearing. For some of you, it's not like in your face. You may overhear something that really strikes a nerve. It's not specifically about the people, it's about what they said and how directly it hits you. Whether or not people are talking about you specifically or not, either way, you are able to processing where it is that you've been stubborn about your vulnerability, where you've been holding on to this particular version of yourself, where you've been holding back from expressing what you've needed to express. But do you need to express it? Is the question. The other question is, if it's yes, it's how you express it is what's important. Where is it coming from? And the reason why I'm saying let things come around, don't be impulsive, is this King of Cups here. Is, have you learned? Have you grown? So what if you're not all liked? And then for some of you, if you're triggered, that is your responsibility. It may bring up like another responsibility to say something out loud. But I think it's how you're processing your worth. What's felt secure in your life. The way you've thought. Maybe this is the way you've thought about the world. Maybe this is you realizing that you want to continue to learn and grow. Maybe this is you wanting to travel more. This could also be you realizing what participating in gossip or talking about others could be. Because if you're involved, yet you know it doesn't give you energy, it doesn't take it away, it's whatever, it's because there's a part of you that's stuck. There's a part of you that whatever you're talking about with them, these people, it actually is taking away from the part of you that needs your attention. This is making you, the idea of this is even making you think differently. And it may open you up to a different way of viewing what you valued, the way you think about life, the way that you process. For some of you, also, this looks like expressing yourself with people that you love is helpful. It's helpful to show you whether you can or can't. If you have a hard time doing it, this is also showing you how much that's kept you inside, kept you closed off, kept you disconnected. But again, you want to ask yourself, who do you want to connect with? You for some of you also have really good, something good stuff is happening to you, and you want to tell people, but those aren't the people. You want to tell people who want to support you, not make you feel like, why did I tell those people this good news, right? Okay. A lot of different things could happen for you this week. All right. It's shifting the way you feel and think about connection is what I gathered. Aquarius, 8th house. Other people's money, mental health. This is a big house. Oh, it's too many cards. I'm not even gonna look. This could be about processing death, deeper healing. Okay. 4 of Pentacles. Wherever you've gotten thus far, it's gotten you here, right? This is a very Aquarian card to me. You've done everything you need to do. You're continuously putting things in the right places, and it's continuously growing, and you are looking to go from 4 to 10. Some of you want to get there quicker. Well, you will. And you may be wanting, you feel stunted. For some of you, you feel stunted. You feel like, I am crossing these T's, dotting these I's left and right. I got this. I've been doing this. I've been making money, but this still feels like you're locked in. You're capped. And now it's starting to get to you, perhaps to your mind, and the only way to clear your mind is to figure out how to continue towards this future. If you can give your mind the space and yourself the space from the physical life you find yourself in, if you can visualize and allow yourself to dream and become closer and more connected to that dream, I guarantee you, Aquarius, you're going to then see the steps you need to take to get there. This is the week you get that clarity, and maybe you've been giving your energy in a way that's actually been detrimental to you. And because you're in that frequency, you're also receiving from that place. Maybe you feel bad for people. Maybe you take pity on people. Yes, you're the humanitarian, but if you're feeling bad or you're feeling too this, or you're like, oh, that's your test this month. That's your test right this week. I haven't done your reading yet. I'm curious. Now even more. Your last but not least, I would say this is altering the way, I think Venus retrograde is very much involved in yours more than anyone else's. I think this is showing you how you value your energy and your resources, and how the frequency in which you're giving away or receiving. If you're giving to people because they feel bad, you feel bad for them, it might be the same way you're receiving. So now it's like doing it because you want to or you don't. So there's going to be, and people would say, oh, Aquarius says, yeah, you guys like to be involved, even though you're not always like in the party or the life of the party. There are parties in which you are. There are moments in which you definitely are. But you keep it going. You have interesting conversations, right? I'm like not trying to hit on you. I was just trying to say. But anyway, that's what this is about. Getting really, okay, if you want to know how to get here to here, well, then this is about your transactions. And I got that from the Six of Pentacles too. Clarifying the way. Woohoo. And it will help your mind getting into that state and visualizing and seeing the steps. Like, it just comes to you. And if not, you're continuously practicing that right now. And it really clears up a lot of questions in your mind. So maybe that's something you just want to start and continue to do, Aquarius. Okay. Pisces, it's your month. You're the last one. 7th house. Partnership, commitments, marriage, clients. Interesting. You're coming out of a great time of feeling trapped. I don't blame you. The eclipses may be in your sign this month, Pisces, but all these movements into Aries really brings relief to a lot of you, and things start to move. Sorry for all the smoke. Sorry for all the smoke. It's going to relieve a lot. It makes way for this very spiritual, physical creation. As this week you get a taste of things moving, and this is the week you become even more devoted. You're devoted to this person or to the way of life that you're now in. You feel a freeing to your voice. You know more of what you want right now. And you may not know down the line where it will bring you, but you do see where you want to go as well. And this, for some of you, this very spiritual moment, this idea that feels like it comes out of nowhere, and it's very quick. It's just very quick. It all happens very quick. Could be with a Taurus. You could be involved with a Taurus, and things are moving quickly, and the love is growing, and maybe you're talking about marriage. Maybe that wasn't talked about before, and now quickly things are being talked about. If this is you setting up a business, one-on-one, this is you getting really clear on a spiritual level. Maybe you're praying, talking to God more, taking up a practice that really connects you and keeps the faith going. Maybe it's you being more vocal about the spiritual aspects of yourself. You don't realize how freeing that really is from your mind, that implementing this, maybe it's not like speaking out, but it's speaking directly to your partner, speaking directly to your clients, speaking directly to those intimate relationships, the one with yourself first, but this is about other. This is you being very open and honest about this, that this is who you are. This is a part of who you are. This is maybe a bigger part of who you are than you realized. And that becomes actualized in your life. You don't realize how much enjoyment was held back by that. And you didn't even realize that commitment was probably even held back by that. And you get exposed to that. And this is an enjoying experience. This is big. But I think you're just so happy to be not so restrained because you spent so much time there and thinking about it. And yes, you will have time to reflect, but Pisces, if you don't have to reflect like that right now, you don't have to. You don't want to disconnect. You may have to. This is more about what happens during the healing in a way where it's like quick, deepened connection, this is a lot of talking, a lot of vocalization about what you want, what's real. And that, another thing is like, you're not, like, these are your non-negotiables. So if you want marriage and you're single, talk about it. If you're with someone, you want marriage, talk about it, right? It's those kinds of conversations. Not necessarily that one in particular, but that one's the main one that comes up here. And this doesn't look like a breakup. It doesn't. But what you feel may cause something. Again, the feelings won't change. Like, this may make you feel freer, be able to more express yourself, feel more committed, but it doesn't mean it ends with this particular person if you're with someone. So I think a lot of you are just afraid of vocalizing something you haven't had to enough. I don't see a breakup for most of you. I see more closeness. I see more pleasure. I see more enjoyment, especially if you're with a Taurus. But if it does go the other way, just so I'm covering that for you, it just means like rejection is protection. And I'm not making light of your situation, but the cards are like, you're going to be happier regardless of this goes. You're going to be happier in whatever you do next, because you're doing it now, because you're actualizing it and you're vocalizing it. Okay, Pisces? All right, great. So we wrap that up, spent a little bit more time. I hope that this was helpful for this week. I do feel like this is a big moon that we are shifting through in this big time, as energy shifts. I will do another reading for when Neptune goes into Aries. I will do one before it actually happens for the bigger transit. Absolutely. But for now, stay tuned. And there will be a new meditation out for Aries, which will very much include the brain and relaxing that part of the part of our brains, but also igniting new inspiration, new energy, whatever else I decide to put in there. So stay tuned for that. All information is below, and we'll see you next time. Take care of yourself during this eclipse season and the rest of March in general, the rest of the year. We'll see you soon.